Good morning. Do you have both the females and the males already? Because I only see one screen for the jail.
Yes, Your Honor, we got them all.
If you said something, I couldn't hear you.
Oh, is it me?
Are you the male side or the
No,
female side?
we got everybody in one spot, Judge.
Your mic is not working. I see you talking, but I can't hear you.
You got it. Because it's saying, hello, testing.
I see it's unmuted, but I still can't hear you.
Can you hear us now, Judge?
It's going, hello, going green.
Sometimes you have to turn it up on the screen, like you have to go to volume.
I can't hear you. It must be something internal. Like, is the microphone connected or something? Because you're definitely unmuted.
Thank you.
I can't hear the. Okay, let me see what's going on.
We're working on it.
Hang on one second.
Just say we're working on it. Go to test speakers and microphone.
Okay, so I heard you just then.
Yes. Pause.
Oh, I heard you.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Verizon.
So are you on the, okay, so where's the males at? Y'all gonna bring them out separately or something? Oh, okay, I see it. Okay, all right, I got it. All right, good morning, everyone. If you would, all the inmates, please raise your right hand for me. Everybody. All right, do you swear or affirm any information that you tell the court today in this matter will be the truth? If so, say I do, and then lower your hands. All right, thank you. All right, this is your first appearance in Magistrate Court. I'm Judge Bando. I'm not here today to have a trial or to take a plea in your case. Today's point for court is to let you know what you've been charged with and what your bond amount is if one has been set. And I'll advise you what your rights are, and we'll schedule preliminary hearing dates for those of you that want preliminary hearings. So I want you to listen up really closely to this part because you're all gonna have to make this decision individually when you're called up one by one. What a preliminary hearing is a hearing date for you to have the state prove that it's probable that you have committed the crimes that you are accused of committing. Probable cause is a low standard. So it's literally what it says, that it's probable that you did what is alleged that you have done. So if you decide that you would like to have that hearing, which is your right to have it, your court date is going to be on September the 15th if you're charged with a felony. If you're charged with a misdemeanor, that court date is going to be September the 14th. Now, if you make your bond, if a bond is set on your case, you won't have that preliminary hearing date and you'll get notice in the mail when to come back to court. If you're unable to make your bond and you decide that you do want to keep your preliminary hearing, that will be the date of your preliminary hearing. Some of you will have unrestricted bonds, meaning you can post your bond through a bonding company. It can be cash or you can do a property bond. If you go through a bonding company, you can hear me or you can't hear me? Can you guys hear me? Okay, all right. If you go through a bonding company, they usually charge a percentage, and it's about 15% of what your total bond amount is. So if your bond is $1,000, then they're probably going to charge you $150 to secure your release from custody. If you decide to post a cash bond, then you literally post the entire amount in cash. So if your bond is $1,000, then you would pay the sheriff's office $1,000 plus some administrative fees. Once your case is closed, that money will be returned to you minus those administrative fees. You can also use a property bond. The property has to have 3 times the amount of equity in it in order to secure your release. So again, if your bond is $1,000, then you would have to have $3,000 in equity to use that to secure your release from custody. Some of you will have special conditions placed on your bond based on your charge. And if you do, you will have restrictions that prohibit you from contacting a certain person or returning to a certain location. If you violate the court's order and you have contact with a person who the court has asked you not to have contact with or return to a location that you have been asked as a condition of your bond not to return to, your bond can be revoked. And you also can be charged additionally with aggravated stalking, in which you will not be entitled to a bond. A lot of people here have conditions placed on your bonds based on your charges. And I can tell you, if you may go and you have contact with the person, and as soon as that person gets angry, they call the police, the person who's going to get in trouble, even if the other person instigated, is the one who was not supposed to have contact with that person. So please be mindful of that. With all that being said, we will get started with the, I think we have a private case. So we'll do that one first, which is Quintavious Davis, and then we'll do the females.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning, Attorney Rockwell. How you doing?
Good to see you, Judge. Thank you so much for working during the pandemic. We appreciate that.
All right. Are you Mr. Davis? All right, Mr. Davis, you've been charged with trafficking marijuana. The law doesn't allow me to set a bond at a first appearance for trafficking. It has to be with a superior court judge only. Would you like to keep that preliminary hearing, Attorney Rockwell, or would you like to waive it?
Yes, Your Honor. What I would like to do is go ahead and keep that date. And I will be filing an entry, obviously, and a motion for a bond, and get with ADA Freeman to try to get a bond, consent bond prior to that date. I did explain to the family judge that Your Honor may not have jurisdiction over this particular charge. So thank you, Judge.
All right, you're welcome. So I've indicated your preliminary hearing date will be September the 15th. And if you all work it out before then, it'd be great, and we'll sign a consent on it, or the Superior Court judge will.
Thank you, Judge. May I be
All right.
excused?
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Okay, all right, we can start with Ms. Bennett.
Who's who, Your Honor?
I'm sorry.
You say it again? I couldn't hear you.
Oh, Kamisha Bennett.
Alicia Bennett.
Good morning, Ms. Bennett.
Good morning.
You've been charged with battery. Your bond is $5,000. You can't have any contact with Daquan Brown, and you cannot go back to 6205 Stillwater Drive in Riverdale, Georgia. How do you all know Daquan Brown?
He's my son, ma'am, and that's my home, and he doesn't live there. He just came by. That's my home. That's me and my husband and my daughter. All three of us are here. I know I was told that I'm not supposed to explain anything to you at all about this case, but you did ask. It's my son and
No, because I saw that three of you all were charged with battering, alleged to have battered the same person. So I was curious as to the relationship of the person.
he's our son.
How old is he?
He's 21 years old. He'll be 22 in February. 18.
Does he live there?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So unfortunately, Ms. Bennett, I don't have any way to independently verify that. There's no, as you see, there's no prosecutors. There's nobody here. So I literally don't know. I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Can't go home.
No. You have a bond set, but you'll have to, you will have to have them modify it. Based on your application, I've appointed an attorney to represent you. So your attorney will have to contact the court to say that that's your home and you live there. And the solicitor's office confirms that, and then you can. But I don't know. All we have is the police report, and it has no indication one way or the other. So I can't do that today at first appearance without any way knowing anything differently.
So it'd be the same thing for my husband and my
Yeah,
daughter.
everybody, all three of y'all.
Our home.
Yes, that's correct, because you're all here in custody and there's no one here to say anything differently. Would you want to keep your preliminary hearing date, or did you want to waive it?
I don't even understand none of this. I guess we.
Okay, so we'll keep it. You never waive anything that you don't understand. So it'll be September, ma'am, stop talking while I'm talking, please. Your preliminary hearing date is gonna be September the 14th. You're gonna miss all of this and then you're not gonna know what's going on. I'm telling you now. Your preliminary hearing date is September the 14th. If you make your bond, you won't come to court on that date. You'll get notice when to come back to court through the mail. You have an attorney that I've appointed to represent you. If you're still in custody and you don't make your bond, they will come and see you in custody, in jail. What other questions do you have?
What's my bond?
That's why I was telling you to stop talking. I said it, and you were talking, so you missed it. See what happens when you talk and not listening? Your bond is $5,000.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Bennett. Ms. Brown?
Do I need to stand here?
Yes.
Ms. Brown, you've been charged with failure to make an accident report. Your bond is $500. Did you want to keep your preliminary hearing or you want to waive it? Okay, they have a waiver form that you'll have to complete. Make sure when you sign it, I can understand your handwriting because a lot of people write in cursive and I can't stand it, then I won't know it's yours. All right, so complete the waiver and that's it. Thank you. All right. Miss no, that's a man, sorry.
Crane,
That's right.
Ms. Crane,
Good morning, Derek.
Hold on one second. All right, Ms. Crane, you've been charged with simple battery, family violence. Your bond is $3,000. You can't have any contact with Rhonda Crane and you can't go back to 1840 Hill Court in Jonesboro. Do you understand that, ma'am?
Yeah.
All right, did you want to keep your preliminary hearing or would you like to waive it?
Wait.
All right, you complete the waiver form, make sure I can understand your handwriting. Based on your application, I've appointed an attorney to represent you, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
thank you, sir. Ms. Jones? Oh, sorry. Carol,
I have Ms. Harmon next.
honest. Ms. Harmon is OTB, Your Honor.
Okay,
We have Carol Niger as well.
the next female I have is for Harmon. Is that who you have?
That's OTB.
Oh, LaQuinta Harmon is OTB?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. All right, so then we have Katrina Jones.
Ms. Jones.
Okay. All right, Ms. Jones, you've been charged with battery. Your bond is $3,000. You can't have any contact with Franklin Quintrell. Do you understand the condition of your bond?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, did you want to keep your preliminary hearing or would you like to waive it? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Okay, you can sign the waiver form and based on your application, I've appointed an attorney to represent you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Miss, is it Kent Hammond? Miss, Ken Hammond, you've been charged with deposit account fraud. That bond is $3,000. Theft by deception is $2,000. So your total bond is $5,000. You want to keep your preliminary hearing or would you like to waive it?
Waive it.
Make sure I can understand the waiver form when you sign it. And I've appointed an attorney to represent you based on your application. Thank you.
Sign it.
All right, Ms. May,
Hayes.
Ms. Mays, you've been charged with criminal trespass. Your bond is $2,000. You can't have any contact with Rebecca Mays. Do you understand the condition of your bond? Did you want to keep your preliminary hearing or did you want to waive it? You say you want to waive it? Okay, based on your application. Okay, based on your application, I've appointed an attorney to represent you. Did you have any questions? All right, thank you. All right, Ms. Strayhorn. Ms. Strayhorn, you've been charged with disorderly conduct. That bond is $1,500. Obstruction of a law enforcement officer is $1,000. Public indecency is $2,000 and public drunk is $1,000. You want to have a preliminary hearing or would you like to waive your right to a preliminary hearing?
I'll have the,
I didn't hear you.
I will have the hearing.
It's on September the 14th. Based on your application, I've appointed an attorney. You make $5,000 a month? You have to hire your own attorney. You make more than the poverty guidelines. So you'll have to hire your own attorney. If you make your bond, you won't have court on that date. They'll send you notice when to come back to court.
What's the total amount?
Let's see. 2, 4, 5,500. All right, thank you, ma'am.
Okay, good.
Your Honor, we also have Carol Niger Sian. Female.
You said who?
Carol, Carroll. Niger, NYJAH.
Okay, all right, just a moment.
Thank you, Your Honor. Include it, no?
All right, Miss Carol. You've been charged with battery. Your bond is $5,000. You have the same conditions. You can't have any contact with Daquan Brown. You cannot return to 6205 Stillwater Drive, Riverdale, Georgia, until another judge has changed the condition of that bond. Do you understand that, ma'am? Ms. Carol, do you understand the conditions of your bond? Did you want to keep your preliminary hearing or would you like to waive it? Okay.
Never mind, I'd like to keep it.
Keep it, Your Honor.
Keep it, keep it.
All right, it'll be on September the 14th. Based on your application, I've appointed an attorney to represent you. Thank you.
Gentlemen, step forward.
All right, Mr. Ortiz. All right, you've been charged with criminal trespass damage to property. That bond is 2,000. Battery against a pregnant female is 5,000. So your total bond is 7,000. You can't have any contact with Starla Sanders. You can't go back to 9714 Fairway Court in Riverdale, Georgia. Do you understand the conditions of your bond?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Do you want to keep your preliminary hearing or did you want to waive it?
You say if I keep it, it doesn't matter if I bond out, right?
That's correct. You want to keep it? Okay. And from my understanding, you said you already have an attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Well, all right.
Good.
Thank you. It'll be, if you don't make bond, your court date will be on the 14th.
Okay.
All right. All right, Mr. Sorry if I pronounce this incorrectly. Almagora. How you pronounce it?
Can you speak up?
Almaguer. All right. So you've been charged with improper, not using an improper signal. The bond is 500. Hit and run is 1,500. So your total bond is $2,000. Did you want to keep your preliminary hearing or did you want to waive it?
Keep it.
It's going to be September the 14th. Based on your application, you'll have to hire your own attorney, okay? All right, thank you, sir.
Barry Donald.
Are you Mr. Berry? Mr. Berry, you've been charged with loitering. That bond is 500. Dangerous drugs is 500. So your total bond is $1,000.
Oh, wrong Barry Superman. Come up.
Willie Berry.
That's me.
Okay.
Your Honor.
Mr. Willie Berry, you've been charged with loitering and prowling. That bond is 500. Dangerous drugs is 500. So your total bond is $1,000. You want to keep your preliminary hearing or did you want to waive it? All right, make sure I can understand your handwriting on your waiver form and based on your application, I'm appointing an attorney to represent you, sir, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, are you Mr. Donald Berry? Okay. Oh, Mr. Donald Berry, you've been charged with being a fugitive and it's a few of you and it's a lot of information I have to tell you. So I'm going to save you all and do your cases at the end of the calendar. So you can just step to the side. All right, Mr. Cook. All right, well, I think I'll do it next. All right, Mr. Cook, you've been charged with criminal trespass. Your bond is 1,000. You can't go back to 241 Falcon Drive, room 363 in Forest Park, Georgia. You understand that, sir? Did you have any personal property in that room?
No, ma'am. If I did, it's gone now.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
I said, if I did, it's gone now.
Oh, okay. Well, I was gonna say if you did, you could go back with the sheriff to go get it, but if it's gone, it's gone. Did you want to keep your preliminary hearing or did you want to waive it?
Oh, wait, my preliminary here.
Okay, I've appointed an attorney to represent you based on your application. And just make sure I can understand your handwriting on the waiver form, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you. All right.
Right here, right here. It don't matter. You do not can. Right here.
All right, Mr. Bussey. You've been charged with 2 counts of giving a false name, address, and date of birth. It's $500 on each count. And obstruction of a law enforcement officer is $500. So your total bond is $1,500. Did you want to keep your preliminary hearing or did you want to waive it?
Now, may I ask what date this was supposed to take place on?
You talking about your allegations?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
On
ma'am.
July 30th at 10:30. Let's see, it says July 30th.
July 30th.
It said on July 30th, 2021 at 228 Marlboro Road, Building 65 in Forest Park at 1853, you did commit the following offense. Did you want me to read all the allegations to you as well?
Yes, ma'am, because July 30th was just yesterday, right?
That's correct. It says that you, with the intent to hide your identity, give the false name of Antoine Sylvan.
They have the wrong buses. You know, I'm sorry. I've been incarcerated for the last 30 days.
So what's your full name?
My name is Donald Clyde Bussey Jr.
Oh, no, then this is not you. This is DeAndre Bussey.
Okay. We're gonna have him come down now, Your Honor.
All right. So we'll do Mr. Foxworth while we're trying to get that straight out. All right. Mr. Foxworth, you've been charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. That bond has been denied. Criminal damage in the 1st degree, your bond has been denied. Possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, that bond has been denied. Aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, that bond has been denied. Another count of criminal damage in the 1st degree, that bond has been denied. Use of a firearm by a convicted felon in a commission of a crime, that bond has been denied. Improper lane change is $500. Open container is $500. Obstructing or hindering a law enforcement officer is $500. And terroristic threats is $5,000. You want to keep your preliminary hearing or did you want to waive it?
Keep it.
It's going to be on September the 15th. Your bond hearing is going to be on September the 17th. Based on your application, I have appointed an attorney to represent you, sir. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. McDonald. You've been charged with criminal trespass. Your bond is $1,000. You can't have any contact with Antonio Cunningham. Do you understand it, sir?
Yes.
Do you want to keep your preliminary hearing or do you want to waive it?
Wait.
Make sure I can understand your handwriting on your waiver form. Based on your application, I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. Thank you, sir. All right, are you Mr. Rockman? Yes, okay, all right. You've been charged with following too closely. That bond is $500, identity fraud is $5,000, forgery in the 1st degree is $5,000. Your total bond is $10,500. Do you want to keep your preliminary hearing or would you like to waive it?
What's the difference? Well, I'm sorry, what's the difference if I waive it?
You wouldn't, I mean, it's not a difference. One is a preliminary hearing. Were you listening when I went over this at the beginning?
I was on the back of the line, I couldn't hear you.
Okay, so a preliminary hearing, if you decided to keep it, it'd be on September the 15th. So if you didn't make your bond, that's the next time you'll be in court is on September the 15th. And the point of that hearing is to have the state prove that it's probable that you've committed the crimes that you are alleged to have committed. So you have a right to have that hearing where the state has to prove it's probable that you did what you're accused of doing, or you can waive that preliminary hearing.
Yes, I'll keep it.
All right, so if you make your bond, you won't have court on that date. They'll mail you notice when to come back to court. Based on this, your application, I've appointed an attorney to represent you. Do you have any questions, any other ones?
No, ma'am.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith, are you Dante Smith?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. All right, you've been charged with simple battery, that bond is 10,000, criminal damage in the second degree is 10,000, terroristic threat to act is 10,000, so your total bond is $3,000. You have special conditions, you can't have any contact with Shanetta Harris, you cannot return to 875 Garden Walk Boulevard, apartment 40, Atlanta, Georgia, 30349. Do you understand the conditions of your bond, sir?
So my
Did you
bond-
want to, I'm sorry?
So my bond is total of 30,000?
Yes, that's correct, based on your criminal history and the allegations.
All right. If I waive, would I go to court within 72 days?
Yeah, I mean, I can't guarantee that, but it'll be quicker than September the 14th, that's for certain.
Yeah, I would like to waive it now.
Okay, so complete the waiver form, make sure I can understand your handwriting, and I've appointed an attorney to represent you based on your application.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Mr. Turnage.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Turnage, you've been charged with defective headlights. That bond is $500. Driving on a suspended license is $1,500. Your total bond is $2,000. You want to keep your preliminary hearing? Would you like to waive?
Waive it.
Okay. Based on your application, you make too much money, you have to hire your own attorney, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you, sir. Make sure I can understand your handwriting on that waiver form.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Are you Isaiah Williams?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Williams, you've been charged with simple battery. The bond is 2,000. Cruel to children is 2,000. Your total bond is 4,000. You can't have any contact with David Williams. You understand that, sir? You want to keep your preliminary hearing, or would you want to waive it?
Waive it.
Okay. Based on your application, I've appointed an attorney to represent you. Do you have any questions?
No, 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 no.
All right, thank you, sir. Make sure I can understand your handwriting. All right. Are you Mr. Williams?
Right.
All right, Mr. Williams, raise your right hand because you didn't do that earlier.
Yeah, my back is messed up.
Oh, you can't raise it?
Spinal cord injuries.
All right, you've been charged with, no problem. You've been charged with family violence. Your bond is 5,000. You can't have any contact with Daquan Brown. You can't return to 6205 Stillwater Drive, Riverdale, Georgia, until another George changes it. You understand that? Because I just went through that. I think that was with your wife, right?
Heard everything.
Okay. You want to keep your preliminary hearing?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it.
All right, it's gonna be on the 14th. And based on your application here, I've appointed an attorney to represent you.
Okay.
All right, did you have any other questions?
No,
Did you have any? Okay, all right, thank you, sir. All right, so the only thing we should have left is these fugitives, right?
Yes, Your Honor, we also have a Mr. Hancock who has COVID, and we're gonna have to take a break shortly to move the computer down to the medical so that we could have his
Okay, you said Hancock?
Hancock. He's also a fugitive as well.
Oh, okay, all right. Miss Attorney Butterfield, who do you represent?
Hey, Judge, I was here. I didn't get the link. It's Eric Artis. Has he been seen already?
He has, and he said he had a lawyer. Yep, he did. So his preliminary hearing date, if he doesn't make his bond, is on September the 14th. And his
Okay.
total bond is $7,000. He didn't know that you were coming today. No one said that you were gonna be here today. I would have waited.
Well, thank you, Judge. I didn't get the link. I was supposed to get it yesterday, and I just realized I just clicked on my emails and I saw it was sent a little while ago.
Oh, yeah, they didn't send it to you yesterday. I didn't create it till this morning, so don't blame them. They didn't get it to 9 o'clock this morning.
Very much, Judge.
All right, thank you. Take care.
Bye-bye.
All right. Oh, did you ever find out what happened to DeAndre Bussey?
We are still trying to get him up here, Judge. One of the other deputies went down to rectify that problem. So he is, actually, I'm gonna radio down there and see if he's on his way up.
Okay, and so you guys have the fugitives?
Yes, ma'am.
That's Barry, Hancock, and I remember he said somebody had COVID and got to come by themselves or something.
That's COVID. So once
Which one does?
Hancock.
Okay, so Hancock, all right.
Yes, ma'am. So once you're finished with everybody up here in main court holding, we're gonna move this whole system down there to him. And
Okay.
get you set up with him and his paperwork as well.
So whenever you guys are ready for the fugitives, I'm ready as well.
Okay.
Can you all bring all three of them out so they can hear it at the same time? I'm not trying to put anything in danger, but it'd be easier.
Bring all the pieces out so they can. Okay. Oh.
Did he say everybody's gone?
Howdy, Hemingway Lee is not here. Huh?
You said, so Hemingway's not, so meaning they came and picked him up, not here?
Yes, correct.
Okay, and then what about Slaughter?
Slaughter is loaned out
He's in the hospital, Your
in the
Honor.
hospital, yes.
Okay, so he has to be continued.
And Hancock is in medical, he's the one with COVID.
So Slaughter is continued for medical. And you said Hemingway, you said he was what? He's already been picked up.
Picked up, yes, Your Honor.
All right, picked up. All right, so they just, all right, so me and you, Mr. Bear, again, here we go. All right, so Mr. Bear, this is an extradition hearing. All of the rights that I told everyone earlier also apply to you in your case, except the difference is you don't have any charges pending here in Clayton County. You've been brought to court here today because you have charges pending in St. Clair County in Alabama for larceny and for FTA for theft of property in the first. Warrant number CC 202125, which is a felony, and they have indicated that they will extradite. So you've been charged with being a felony from the state of Alabama and wanted for the charges that I've just mentioned. You may contest your extradition or you can waive your right, and you can sign and waive your right to the extradition and voluntarily return to the state of Alabama without going through a formal extradition process. If you decide that you want to contest your extradition, you will be committed to the Clayton County Jail for a period initially of 30 days. During this time, a warrant will be prepared under the governor's signature for your extradition to Alabama. The court may consider allowing you to post a bond, but however, at a first appearance, bonds are denied. If you do not wish to voluntarily to return to Alabama, you may file a petition of writ of habeas corpus to contest your extradition. You can contest whether the documents are valid on their face, whether you're charged with a crime that actually exists in Alabama, whether you're the person named for the extradition, or whether you are in fact a fugitive from justice. You cannot contest your innocence or guilt in Georgia. You are entitled to have an attorney to represent you to help you decide whether you want to contest your extradition or whether you would voluntarily return to Alabama and waive your extradition. So are you in fact Donald Darrell Dwayne Berry?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And do you already have an attorney representing you in this matter?
In Alabama, actually, I was in the hospital this past week and missed court Wednesday. That's what these charges.
Okay, so did you wish to contest your extradition or did you want to waive your right to the hearing and go back to Alabama?
Let them come, how long, they only got 10 days to come get me if I waive, right?
No, that's not the law. That's like a policy. So if they don't come get you, that doesn't have any legal effect within 10 days. But it's quicker than if you have the hearing. It's quicker than that period.
I'll waive the extradition.
Okay, they have the waiver forms over there. There's 7 of them. It's the same exact form. You just have to sign them for legal reasons, all 7 of them. And then they'll get them over to Alabama, so they'll come pick you up as quickly as possible. All right, thank you, sir.
Said.
All right, I'll be on standby until you all have Mr. Hancock. Are you Mr. Hancock?
No, this is a bus,
Oh, okay, all right.
Mr. Bussy.
Oh, Bussy, all right.
Yes, ma'am. You just have to hurry up.
Or actually, no, you can. You remember the, right? Give us just a second, Judge.
Okay.
Judges and Mr. Buckman.
All right. All right, Mr. Bussey, you've been charged with 2 counts of giving a false name, address, or date of birth. Your bonds are $500 on each count, and you've been charged with obstructing a law enforcement officer, and that bond is $500. So your total bond is $1,500. You can have a preliminary hearing, or you can waive it. A preliminary hearing is a hearing where the state would have to prove that it's probable that you committed the crimes that you are alleged to have committed. And if you decided you wanted to keep it and you don't make your bond, the next time you'll be in court is on September the 14th. So you can have your preliminary hearing. If you make your bond, you won't have to come back to court on that date. You would get notice in the mail when they return to court. So did you want to have your preliminary hearing, or did you want to waive your preliminary hearing? Oh, and before you answer me, raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the information you tell the court be true to the best of your ability? If so, say I do.
I do.
All right. Now, do you want to keep your preliminary hearing, or did you want to waive it? If you don't understand it, you can keep it, and you can always waive it later. So we'll keep it. And let's see here, based on your application of appointing an attorney to represent you. So if you don't make bond, you'll be in court on September the 14th. You can always waive it at the later date after you speak with an attorney. All right, thank you, Mr. Bussey.
At this time, Your Honor, we're gonna go ahead and shut this system down and take it down to medical and get set up for Mr. Hancock.
All right, thank you.
Your Honor,
Ma'am,
so, we're having not technical difficulties anymore. Can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so we're not having technical difficulties. We're having difficulties with the inmate. He's not cooperative right now. He's refusing to put clothes on and his mask. So I don't know what you want to do. And then we have these inmates in the hall right now that know what's going on and is refusing to comply. So
Okay. So essentially he doesn't want to participate in his first appearance.
yeah, and we had the same issue with him yesterday and the day before that.
Okay.
He's completely uncooperative. It takes more than two people to get with him.
Okay, well then, if that's the case, he doesn't have to, I'm just gonna inform of his right to waive his extradition or contest it. So if the only thing he would have to sign is the waiver forms if he decided to waive it, so which he's uncooperative. So I'll complete the paperwork and whenever they come and extradite him and pick him up, they will.
Okay.
All right,
Yeah.
thank you. So that's everybody, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, make sure they, could you make sure they email me the waivers?
Yes, we're gonna do that as soon as we wrap up here. We got some to
Okay.
see.
All right, no problem. Thank you.
All right, thank you, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.
All right.